So the Reign of Terror, as it's called, it's not a really long time period. It's just around a year long, but the it has really long lasting effects on France, and it impacts the French people's openness to different people as the revolution progresses. So after this time period, you'll have a little bit of a lull, but then eventually, when Napoleon comes along, people are going to be really susceptible to accepting him because of what has happened to them, especially during this time period. So, led by Maximilien Robespierre and Georges Danton, they take over in France. They were Jacobins. They create this new organization of government called the Committee on Public Safety. The irony there is that no one was safe. The new constitution was canceled. They wanted to bring order to France, but in a really hardcore terroristic way. They wanted to remove all enemies of the revolution, and this was like you could do the smallest thing and find yourself at the guillotine. They had abolished the use of old terms to address people. So if you called someone by like Monsieur or Mademoiselle, that was considered of the old way, and people would rat you out. Or if you said that to someone who was of the Jacobin persuasion politically, you were found to be an anti-revolutionary. And so between 19 September of 1793 and July of 1794, it's believed that at least around 300,000 people were arrested and up to 40,000 people were executed, and around 10,000 more died in prison or without a trial. And the irony there is that the very group of people who had started this revolution are going to be the ones finding themselves at the you know trials that lead to their death. This third estate is going to see um, a lot of people die. Now, I'm not going to say that other groups didn't die off, but proportionally, which just makes sense statistically, given that 97% of the population was of the third estate, um, they're going to be disproportionately targeted. Now, Robespierre is going to take it too far, and eventually he will find himself also at the guillotine. And before that happens, though, some of the things that come to France in terms of changes, women were given the right to vote, which was extremely, radical for the time. The calendar was changed. Sundays were abolished because religion was seen as old-fashioned and dangerous. And then the other thing that is going to play a big part across the ocean is that they abolished slavery in their colonies. They which sets all of the slaves free in Haiti, which is a big deal in and of itself. But then later on, when Napoleon tries to take it back, he will face his defeat in terms of the Haitian Revolution. When Robespierre and the Jacobins are removed from power, the people of France are reactionary, and so they put a government in place called the Directory. The Directory was created to bring a sense of normalcy again, but also to kind of start to exhibit those characteristics of a shared government where more than one person has a say. So it had a legislature, it had lawmakers, it was led by a 5-person executive. No one person was going to have power. They were called the directors. Its biggest issue, though, was that those in power, which were generally those that had either been of the nobility class or even of the bourgeois class, they're going to be very corrupt, and they're going to be working to serve themselves and not necessarily work to address all of the problems that had come to France from before the revolution and during it as well.